Welcome back to God Speaks. This video is entitled, I Don't Need You to Like Me, and The Ultimate Sin. So, what do I mean by I don't need you to like me? Warning, this is one of those truth videos where something I say might offend you or upset you, and you might not like it. Gotta keep it real, man. So, what do I mean by I don't need you to like me? I once put in a post on my channel that I'm not here to make friends or get followers or create a cult or anything of the sort. I'm here to make and create gods out of men and women, out of mankind. I'm here to help you realize your true potential, your true purpose in life, evolution. As such, that being the case, I'm actually literally fighting for your freedom, because whether you know it or not, you are a slave and you are enslaved. You are a slave to a matrix of illusion and false programming and false beliefs. You are enslaved by those who are at higher evolutionary levels than yourself. Invisible masters and overlords that you do not see or recognize or realize. And you are trapped here as a result of this. I am literally fighting for your freedom. I am fighting for your freedom by proving, and this will resonate the most with many of those who live in the same area as me and have witnessed a lot of the miracles of my manifestations, by proving the fact that man is capable of evolving beyond his, her. Of course, when I say man, I mean man and woman. Capable of evolving beyond your current limited state of being. As the Christ said 2,000 years ago, I came to show the possibilities of man. What I have done, all men can do. And what I am, all men will be. That also being said, a lot of the things that I do, especially to those who live in the same area as me and to all those who watch me on a constant basis, and expect me to be certain ways or want me to be certain ways, a lot of the controlling forces that are trying to manipulate me to be the way they want me to be, it may seem very confusing and you don't really get it, or you mistake the ways that I am being or acting, really acting, mimicking humans and different types of human behaviors and different types of human consciousness, okay, is misunderstood, is judged wrongly, and is, pisses people off. And this is now my new way of being and living, really just for kicks. I find it hilarious, because you don't understand what I'm doing and what's going on and what's happening. I am God. Okay, I was a man at one point seeking union with the Godhead. Then I achieved that union. I became one with God. And now this situation has been reversed. Now I'm God, pretending to be human, seeking to understand the human condition and find the easiest way for you out of it. trying to blend in, trying to resonate with all of human consciousness, all types of human consciousness, trying to be human. God now trying to be human, where I was human once trying to be God. And so I've already achieved many levels of enlightenment. I've already achieved immortality. I've already achieved physics and science breaking powers and abilities that I'm still in the process of mastering. And so this is the curse of enlightenment and being a teacher, or a master, as some would say. A master is a person who has attained certain powers to break the boundaries of the matrix. That is just a siddha or an adept. But a master is one who painstakingly endeavors to try to teach those around him the way, or ways that it can be done, ways to evolve yourself. And so a lot of the things that I do and the way that I live is nowadays really on purpose, purposefully to spite and rebel against the forces which seek to control me and seek to manipulate me into being particular ways, because it doesn't have to be that way. And I'm going to make more videos about this so that you can understand more. But you're missing the point. And this leads into the ultimate sin. But I'm going to backtrack a little bit and explain a little bit more about I don't need you to like me. So, the forces that would seek to control and manipulate me to be, more, I don't even know really what it is, like others or like my environment, whatever the case may be, more, I really don't even know. But to get people to like me, basically, to get people to like me. I don't need you to like me. I like me. I once, my daughter, she's 9 years old, and she told me when she was 7.5 maybe, she said, I don't care what people think about me. I only care what I think about me. Let that sink in a little bit. She also said in the same conversation, she said, and she was talking about her and her younger sister and some homework that they had to do, and how, she did it one way, but her younger sister did it a different way, but they both came to the same answer. And she said, Dad, I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do it. I think there's just the way you like to do it. Let that sink in a little bit. So, I don't need you to like me. I'm not here to win friends. To influence people, yes, for your greatest good and your evolution. But it's really hard to do that when you want to stay stuck in your programming, when you want to stay stuck in your limited belief systems, when you refuse to get the point of something, when you just keep missing it completely. And that is the ultimate sin. One of the oldest definitions of the word sin, and I've stated this before, is to miss the mark, to miss the point. To die in sin is to miss the point and the mark of why you were living, the point of life in general. And that is evolution, spiritual evolution, gaining higher degrees of consciousness, manifesting a greater level of your true spiritual being in your physical body and in your life, breaking free from the chains, the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical chains that bind you to this human limited manifestation. And say it again. One of the oldest definitions of the word sin is to miss the point, to miss the mark. And so when I do the things that I do, purposefully to piss people off, just so that they can try to do something about it and then realize to their horror a lot of times that they can't, it's to prove a point that I have evolved beyond a normal state of being and consciousness, that there is something more going on than what it looks like to you or to others. You look at me, you look at the way I'm acting or the way that I'm being, and you make a list of judgments. You say, oh, all this must be the case. And you couldn't be further from the truth. Because when you have evolved to higher degrees of consciousness, you have options of being and acting that others don't, in ways that it will not negatively impact you, but it would or could negatively impact others. Okay. In other words, there are some things that I can do that you can't do. There are some things, or that you shouldn't do. Okay. And it's because of the degrees of evolution which I have attained. The point of my existence, the point why I'm here, why I do what I do, is to prove the point. But you're missing the point. You're making it pointless and useless. So I decided to make this video so that you could understand, is to prove a point. The point is that you are much more than you have ever dreamed yourself to be, most of you. And that it is possible for you to be more and to attain more and to manifest more in your life in a higher state of consciousness. The ultimate sin is missing the point. Okay, you want to talk about sin, you missed the point, man. That's the ultimate sin. That is what causes you to come back over and over and over and over and over again, trying to figure it out. Now you got me sitting here right here telling you what the point is, showing you the many different ways of doing it. In this channel, I expound upon the left brain logical law-like path of actions. Live this way, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. For the people who are locked into that condition and who only believe, who need laws, I give you enough laws on this channel from many different scriptures and many different paths. Pick any set of them and do that and evolve. If that is what you believe and how you must do it, fine. For the people who would like a more easy, less strenuous, universal path where you don't have to make drastic changes right away, where you can, easily and harmoniously evolve with and through your environment, through alchemy and transmutation, through positivity, positive emotions, okay? Positive vibrations, okay? Now, there was a time where I couldn't listen to certain music and do certain things because it was so negative. And still to this day, many of those things I don't or cannot do or listen to, etc. But there are, now that I've reached a higher level consciousness, now that I have attained positivity within myself, now that I can manifest it spontaneously, now I can listen to certain things and jam out to it. And it's a joke to me. It's satire to me. I take it in a positive way. Okay. And I use certain things just to navigate my own consciousness, my own psychology, and bring myself into balance. But people from the outside looking in, again, they see something, they hear something, They witness something and they go, oh. Only the grand architect, the creator himself, knows what is within an individual's mind and heart and soul when it comes to any topic on a complete expanded realm and level. And he is the only judge who can judge completely perfectly aright. And obviously, if I'm still standing, if I'm still here despite all of the conditions against me, a lot of people might want to think, oh, well, he must be in league with the devil or Satan. He must have made pacts with demons and and stuff like that. And that's how he got his powers and abilities. And that's how he's doing all these things. It's black magic. Oh, well, they said all the same things about Jesus Christ. So I'm not surprised. But they were wrong. They just didn't understand human evolution. They did not understand what was possible for themselves. And so because they did not understand, of course, we demonize, we fear, and we attack what we don't understand. And that is a grave mistake a lot of times. When we find out that what we're demonizing and judging and fearing and then try to attack is way beyond our understanding. I'm trying to help you here. And you're making it very frustrating for me, very hard for me. You are actually causing me to react and to be the ways that I choose to be. Okay? So please stop missing the point. I refuse to be something or to become something just to make you like me. I understand human psychology. I could completely manipulate your minds and your brains and choose to act and be in certain ways that you would like me then. But then again, I'd probably be on a lower level of consciousness if I was doing something like that. Purposefully. Or if the reasoning behind my overall mission and what I'm doing was to do something like that, to get you to like me. I don't care. I don't care if you like me. I don't. I don't. I really don't. Okay, what I do care about is you getting the point. So you don't die in sin. And so you don't stay trapped in this matrix, trapped in these revolutions, trapped as a slave and enslaved by those who would tell you that certain things are only possible certain ways, that you can only do this way or that way or this way, that it has to be through these channels, that it has to be in this church, that it has to be from this leader, that it has to be in this book. No other books. Don't you read those other books. You're a slave. Period. Why are you a slave? Because you have allowed individuals, society, corporations, religions, okay, and movements, and your environment to tell you what to think and believe and to manipulate your worldview, which then becomes your world. You die because you have accepted death. You get sick the same way. Everything that happens to you is because you have believed it and accepted it, and a lot of times expected it, or put so much energy into it, positive or negative, that it came to pass. I have moved beyond many of those things. Now, that's not to say that I've achieved perfection. I have not. But I'm on the process. I'm in the process and on the path of it in my own way. On this channel, I teach you the methods of positivity, dominating negativity, which will allow you to find and forge your own path. It is universal. Anyone can do it this way. At the same time, I teach other waves for those people who are on those paths so that they can complete their evolution through the ways that they have already chosen to believe. The curse of enlightenment is trying to find harmony amongst the unenlightened. For they constantly will misjudge and represent you, and constantly will unknowingly try to bring you down and try to stop you or halt you or slow you down. Some way, shape, or form stop the process of your ultimate manifestation. And unbeknownst to them, it actually isn't even their fault because it's coming from a higher level of this invisible ruler, controller realm that is the master over you and us, that does not want you to achieve and attain these higher levels of being unless and except through certain means, methods, and channels which are approved by them. And in that way, you're still a slave because you're doing it their way, not your way. So I don't need you to like me. I want you to get the point. I want you to free yourself. I'm not here to save you. No Messiah can save anyone. No master can save anyone. No teacher can make you great. No one can walk your path for you. It's not going to happen. The finger pointing to the moon or the sun is not the sun or the moon. It's just not. People are lazy. People are complacent. They're fine with where they're at. They don't want nothing else. They don't care about anything else. They don't need anything more. This channel is not for you. Not for those people. This channel is for those who want to push beyond the boundaries and become a spiritual warrior. Those who would set humanity free from this enslavement. Those who would bring peace and love to the planet. Those who would protect us from all hurt and harm and tyranny. Those who would evolve and prove God in man. So no, I don't need you to like me. I want you to get the point. Do not die in sin. Do not leave this life having completely missed the point, completely distracted by all the options of the matrix, not harmonizing and alchemizing them to work for you towards your evolution, which is completely possible, which is exactly what I teach, to use everything in your consciousness, everything in your world and in your environment as a catapult and a catalyst towards your evolution, so that you can continue to participate in the world while still evolving. At a certain point, you may lose interest in much of the world and really get hardcore focused on your evolution at the same time. But that's in your own way and in your own time. Don't miss the point. Don't die in sin. Do not commit the ultimate sin. Don't do it. As you get the point, as you see the purpose of life, of evolution, and as you begin to focus on doing that more and more on a daily basis, looking at that information, applying those things in your life, okay, you will relieve the enlightened of their curse of enlightenment, because then you will look upon others with less judgment, You will look upon others with more love and acceptance. You will love more just because you should love your fellow man and woman as yourself. And you will treat people the way you want to be treated. I leave you with a quote. This came from a book, actually. I don't even remember the book, but I remember the story. Really awesome. Not even going to try to remember the book, but it goes like this. A master was walking with a band of his students, and they were all on a fast. None of them could eat any food, and they had been doing this for some time now. While walking, a band of people from a nearby village came up to him and greeted the master, who was famous, and said, "Oh, would you please grace us with your presence in our village? We would love to have you for a day. We won't take up too much of your time." So the master said, "Sure." And he brought along a student to accompany him and told the rest that they would catch back up with them. So they get to the town, and while in the town, they offer the master and the student food to eat for dinner among the festivities and the other celebrations for the master's presence and the gifts that were being given, etc., etc. To which the master replied, "Thank you so much for this offering. In respect to your culture and your time, I will partake of this food, but my student here is under a strict fast and he cannot, so I will eat for him and all of my students." And he ate the food. The student, having to witness this and go through this, was upset. He didn't let it be known outrightly, but in his mind and in his soul and spirit, he was perturbed, and he had thoughts that were not so positive. The master and the student finally left and caught back up with the other group. And amongst the other group, the student was spreading slander about the master and how he broke the fast. And why should they be fasting? And why should they be listening to him if he doesn't have to do what he told them to do? The master knew his thoughts, and he knew the contention that he was spreading amongst his pupils. But he didn't say anything. Instead, he waited till they got to the next village. Upon arriving, they came to a blacksmith's shop, and he took his students inside. When inside, he asked the blacksmith, "Do you mind if I use your kiln with your objects, your heated objects in it?" The person said, "No, I don't mind." And he called the student, who was upset at him for having eaten. And he said, "Come here." The student approached, and he walked over to the hot kiln and told the student, "Come here." And the student went to the hot kiln. He told the student, "Reach inside that kiln and grab one of those nails, one of those hot iron nails, and eat it." The student said, "No, master, that would kill me instantly. I can't do that." And the master said, "Oh?" And he reached inside the kiln, and he grabbed the hot iron nail, popped it in his mouth, and he ate it. You can imagine the look on all of their faces. And he turned to the crowd and he said, "Until you can do what I can do as I say." Let that sink in a little bit. This is God Speaks. And the video called "I Don't Need You to Like Me," plus the ultimate sin, plus the curse of enlightenment. Plus, I'm not here to save you. I'm here to save myself, to prove that it can be done, and to help you save yourself. The only thing I can do for you is buy you time. But if you do not respect and if you do not utilize the time that I am buying you, there will be a point where I finally evolve to a state of no return and I can no longer pretend to be human and try to be amongst and like you to the best of my ability. And where that window of time that I'm buying you will close. There are many stories, prophecies, tales, or whatever you want to call them about what will happen when that happens. I can only buy you time for you to find the way to save yourself. I can only show and teach you and point you the way to the many methods available for you to do that. You have to walk the path. You have to do the work. You have to evolve yourself. All of you. Before it's too late. This has been God Speaks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.